Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if, Naruto x Erza x Lucy x Mirajane, part 1. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. Naruto stood at the top of a tree overlooking Konoha, the village he called home. He watched from the tree by himself, as he looked onward. He saw how much the village itself had changed, the people that came and went. The years he lived there, watched everyone go by, and it brought him tears of happiness and sadness. It has been over 200 years since the 4th Great Shinobi War. By the time Naruto was 106, he faked his death since it was about due time he died. However, Naruto was unable to die easily, meaning only old age could kill him. Though, Naruto stopped aging in actuality at the age of 21. He just used a transformation to make himself look older. It saddened Naruto, but also made him happy. The system of shinobi slowly came to an end where only skilled people knew how to use chakra. The art of the shinobi was slowly dying, few people could truly learn to utilize their chakra. Many clans began to slowly intertwine with other civilians and clans. The Kages were still prominent leaders of their village, and everyone's names have gone down in history. However, all the villages continued to thrive, and everyone worked together. Everyone prospered, and peace reigned for many years. Besides those who hid in the shadows, their names went unnoticed, but alas, that was the point for shinobi. For those like Itachi, Yamato, Yugao, and all the other Anbu. Especially Sasuke, not many knew who he was anymore, except for the fact he was a traitor to the village, and then turned ally thanks to Naruto. Eventually watching everyone he loved die hurt him greatly. Being by everyone's deathbed, and watching them leave this world hurt. So, when Naruto passed, tons of people attended, but Naruto did not have a family. Since he was forced to live almost, as if he was a semi-immortal, he would not die of sickness. He could only die until his time was up. The entire village held a ceremony after his passing, as Konohamaru's grandkids were there. Konohamaru passed 20 years before Naruto did. Since then, Naruto kept to himself, and stayed hidden. If he ever went out, he always transformed into a civilian. But now wasn't the time for that, it was time for Naruto Uzumaki to finally die. Naruto slowly stood up, as he quickly dashed towards the top of the Hokage monument. He took a seat above his father's head. Naruto looked onward at the setting sun in the distance. Naruto smiled, as he watched the sunset one last time. Naruto saw Hagoromo appear before him, and Naruto looked at his hands, as he found the sun mark on his right hand, then the moon mark on his left hand. Hagoromo nodded his head, and said, "Naruto, it is time." Naruto closed his eyes. Do you guys hear him? It's time. Geez, it's about time. Who knew another 200 years would feel so long? The deep chuckle from Kurama laughed from within Naruto. Man. Being here for so many years has begun to eat at me. Shikaku roared from within, looking at Kurama. Feels like it's been ages since we last saw the old man. Son Goku nodded his head ready for him and his siblings to move on. Naruto, we appreciate you doing this for all of us. Nadat Ubi purred thankfully to Naruto for doing this for them. Without you Naruto, we couldn't have gotten a chance to move on ourselves, Seiken said with an almost happy tune to his voice. We must always remember to be thankful for our brother. He is one of us after all. Chime buzzed his wings. Of course, the one we could call our sibling. Kakuo nodded her head in agreement. It's been a real hell of a time with you. It's already a real shock that our time is up. Isobu closed his eyes, and sighed. It was sad to see everyone split up. Well, it's been a hell of a run Naruto, it's been fun. Jayuki looked down at Naruto, nodding his head. Naruto smiled, as he looked back at the other tailed beasts in his mindscape. Yeah, it's been fun, I'm glad I was able to help you all anyways. Besides, there's nothing more I can do now. Had no idea you guys had a time limit on this place. Hagoromo smiled, as he looked at Naruto. I appreciate your patience Naruto, but alas there is something I am withholding from you. Naruto tilted his head confused wondering what he meant. Hagoromo floated to the side to look at the sun setting with Naruto. This entire time I've spent asking other gods and goddesses for a place to send you. Naruto's eyes widened looking at the old sage. I found a place, and I've been working on trying to make sure I can do my best. However, unlike Sasuke his body did not retain my chakra. He was not immortal, and could die from old age. Wait, are you saying? Yes, Hagoromo nodded his head, as he held up his right hand, as the sun mark was on his hand. I ask you to wait, and ask questions once I'm done. Now let me explain, for whatever reason your body acclimated to it, and it learned to store some of it in your own body. It changed your chakra and allowed you to evolve from a normal human. With the 9 other Biju in you, your body has begun to produce its own unique 6-path sage chakra. You now cannot die by normal means. Hagoromo closed his eyes, he felt bad for Naruto. I know it's hard to hear, but I talked to someone. And I can transport you to a new world, and we can revert you into a child, sadly. We cannot remove your sun or moon mark, nor can we revert you to being normal. We can send you to a new world where you can start a new life, and make new friends. Start a new family, but I won't force you. It's the only other option we got. Naruto didn't hesitate and asked, where will the Biju go? I don't want to keep them here. I'd rather find a place they can go so they can live. Hagoromo looked at Naruto for a second and shook his head. He chuckled and smiled. Well, I shouldn't have expected any less from you, Naruto. But yes, they'll have a place we can send them to. Naruto smiled as he nodded his head. He wasn't too keen on the new idea of starting a new life. Why a new life? I'd rather move on and see the people I love. Hagoromo smiled and nodded his head. I promise you, if you can't find what you're looking for in the new world, I'll make sure to get to you as soon as possible. I'll take you back. For now, it's our only option. You wait here. In the meantime, I'll work on trying to remove the sixth path of Sage Chakra. Naruto went to answer until Kurama intervened, as his head of chakra formed next to Naruto's head. If I may be so bold, Naruto, maybe it won't be a bad idea. It's a chance at something. It's the least you deserve. Before Naruto knew it, all the other Bijuu spreaded their heads from Naruto's back, each with their coloration and individual heads. I think it's quite a good idea too. It'd be fun. Madatabi purred. She wondered if Naruto could find someone to fall in love with. Not many people get the chance. I think it's a good chance. Son Goku smiled, nodding his head at Naruto. It is good to give it a shot. Kakuo nodded her head in agreement, and the rest of the others did so too. He would be mighty happy if you did it. Besides, not every day a person gets a second chance at life. Jayuki nodded his head, thinking it would be something good for Naruto to try out. Naruto chuckled, as the other Bijuu cheered in unison. Naruto sighed, and rubbed the back of his head. Alright, if that's the case, then why not? Naruto looked at Hagoromo. Sure, why not? What should I expect there? Hagoromo smiled, as he looked at the setting sun. It's a place called Earthland. You'll be sent there with some others. It's a place full of magic, and more, a wonderful place I think you'll love. A society built upon magic. It works vastly differently from chakra, of course. Since you got your own six paths chakra, you won't need to worry about real learning, but you'll have to refine your control. Naruto nodded his head. Though it wouldn't hurt to learn it, at least I'd fit in that way. Naruto smiled, thinking about at least the thought of being in a new place. At least it is a change of scenery. Well, let's get going then. We'll prepare the way, and we'll send you there. You'll be about 3 or maybe 4 years old. Hagoromo looked at Naruto. You'll have to retrain to get stronger with magic. Your chakra will grow alongside you. Hagoromo chuckled, as he looked at Naruto. I'll come by about when you're 17 or so, and see how you're doing. Naruto nodded his head. Think you can make it where I'm born on October 10th again? Hagoromo chuckled along with the other Bijuu. A simple task to do. Hagoromo nodded his head. I think you'll find learning to get stronger once again fun. It'll take time, and you'll get there. Techniques you've learned you'll be able to use again. Just take some practice to get back where you are. Naruto nodded his head, as she stood up ready. Well, let's get going then. I guess there's no time to waste. Hagoromo closed his eyes, and waved his hand, as a portal appeared below towards the Hokage Tower. Jump, then I, and the other goddess will do our work. Good luck, and take care of Naruto. You'll do fine. Naruto smiled, as he turned his head. Naruto went to take a step, as the Bijuu retracted back into his seal. Naruto went to move until some Anbu landed on his head. Who are you to state your business? And the group of Anbu stopped, and they recognized Naruto as the previous Hokage, alive and healthy. Naruto chuckled, as he waved to them. Well, I guess this is it, see ya. Naruto moved forward, as he fell forward. The wind blew in Naruto's face, as he fell towards the portal. Soon, he was swallowed up, and the portal closed behind him. The Anbu ran towards the edge. When they looked down, they saw nothing. The few Anbu who were there looked at one another. They all disappeared, and went to report to the current Hokage. With Naruto watched, as he fell through the portal, and saw vast, and a bunch of different colors, and lights. He looked at himself, as his body shrunk, and his voice changed to his original high-pitched tone. Naruto closed his eyes, as he prepared for the Bijuu all to leave. Eventually he received their goodbyes. It's been a lot of fun, Naruto. Be safe, and take care. We appreciate everything you've done for us. Jayuki nodded his head, as he stood next to Kakuo, Chimei, Isobu, Son Goku, Shikaku, and Seiken, all said respectively. Do take care. We'll forever be grateful. We hope you understand why we decided to continue onwards. We'll always be with you. You got this. Make sure to fuck some shit up in Earthland. Do your best. I'm sure you'll get stronger, and prove yourself. Naruto turned his head to see Kurama, and Madatabi was still within him. Don't worry, kid. We weren't gonna completely leave you alone. I wanted to stay. Who knows what fun adventures you'll be on. I don't want to miss it, Madatabi said with a gleeful tone in her voice. Naruto looked at the others, and smiled. Please take care, all of you, and thanks for everything. Truly I appreciate these few hundred years with you all. I won't forget any of you. Soon they all dispersed, as Kurama and Madatabi were the only ones left with him. Kurama turned to Naruto, and finally said, well kid, you should wake up soon. You have arrived. Naruto was surprised. That was fast, but hey, dimensional travel is crazy to begin with. Naruto nodded his head, and said, well I guess it's time to wake up. This should be new. Naruto soon left the mindscape to wake up in the place called Earthland. October 10th, Alvarez Empire Age. Naruto's Earthland Age. 3. Originals Age. 288. Naruto slowly opened his eyes to find himself on the grass. Naruto slowly sat up, as he placed his hand on the back of his head, and rubbed it. Naruto slowly sat up, and looked around, and found trees, and flowers. Naruto looked down to find himself wearing the black and orange outfit he got with Jiraiya after his training with him. The only difference was that it was small enough to fit him in its current state. Just then Naruto looked around to come face to face with something irregular. He looked to see a snout looking directly at him. The beast that the snout belonged to slowly sat up. The beast towered over Naruto, and looked at him curiously. Naruto was surprised to see a beast of this size. He was gargantuan, and this was something he didn't expect. The beast had light-colored scales running all over its body. The beast has a dark-colored fiery mane running down its back and arms, which appear to be connected to its feathery wings. While having 3 pairs of extensions from its jaw, the beast has a dark-colored wing-like design over its eyes, that's complemented by 2 oval designs right above it, the bigger one on the bottom, and the smaller one on top. The beast also has them on its paws, 4 extending from the forearm, and 3 on each finger. There's a noticeable border above its nostrils that divides its mouth from its face, extending near the back of its head. Finally, the beast has a pair of jagged horns extending from the base of its skull, and feather-like scales extending from the back of its knees. The beast lowered its head to come face to face with Naruto. "What is a human like you doing in these parts?" Naruto was relatively surprised he could understand this beast. He wondered if they allowed him to have the ability to talk and speak their language. I don't know, I just ended up here." Naruto did his best to play coy, but then again, he had no idea where he was, to begin with. The beast raised an eyebrow, and asked, "Alright, then get out of here, scurry on home to your family. You don't belong here." Naruto looked at the beast, and could tell it was hurting. Naruto could feel it too, the dragon was in a lot of pain about it too. Naruto rubbed the back of his head, and wasn't scared of said beast. If anything, he was curious about who this was. I don't have a place to go home to, my parents died a long time ago." The beast's eyes narrowed looking at Naruto. "Do you not fear me, child? I am yet a beast that you couldn't comprehend my power. I could squash you just with the press of my claw. I am a dragon, a beast that is beyond what normal humans are." Naruto continued to look at her rather curiously. What she said didn't entirely correspond to how she felt. Naruto smiled, as a child would, and walked over to the beast. Naruto stuck his hand out. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Dragon." Naruto could tell by the dragon's voice that it was a female. The female dragon continued to look at Naruto curiously, and was very unsure of what to do. The dragon lowered its head, and asked, "Child, do you not fear me? Why stay?" The dragon's voice changed from a rough deep growl to someone who was greatly confused. Naruto thought for a moment, trying to think of what to say. Now that he also thought of it, it felt like Matatabi and Kurama were silent. He'll have to figure that out later. "Well, I mean, you don't seem to mean that. Besides, if you were to kill me, you would have already done so. Don't you already have the power to do so? So, since I'm still breathing, I'd like to give you the benefit of the doubt." The dragon herself couldn't believe this child, but it made her think. Think a lot about some of the most recent events. Especially the current fetus that she halted from growing, that there was someone who was not scared of her. Was not scared for a moment, maybe, just maybe this was what she was looking for. The dragon thought to herself, maybe there's something I can also do for the future, if that celestial mage is going to do what I think she'll do. Maybe I can impart this little one, maybe it's one more thing I could do right in this world. I must admit you're well educated to speak this well, most children your age can't speak the way you do. Naruto's sweat dropped, unsure of how to respond. "Well, honestly, it's a long story, Miss Dragon, it's not that simple. My parents are indeed dead." However, Naruto was unsure if he could trust this dragon. I mean, he hardly knows who she is too. The dragon nodded its head. "Alright then, how about a proposal? I'll give you a chance. Why don't we take our time getting to know one another? We can slowly open up, maybe, just maybe, this was meant to happen. Come, child." The dragon turned, and began to walk back towards a large cave. Naruto followed suit, going into the cave. "Tell me, you have heard of magic before, right?" Naruto technically knew what magic was, just not how to access it. "Well, I've heard of it, I just don't know how to use it. Have you heard of Dragon Slayer magic before?" The dragon raised an eyebrow, curious about what Naruto would say. Dragon Slayer was well known throughout the kingdom. Everyone knew of it. Naruto stared blankly at the dragon. "Dragon Slayer magic?" "Nope, the first time." The dragon smirked. "Well then, just saying, a lot of people should know of Dragon Slayer magic, so tell me, kid, where did you come from?" The tone of the dragon turned to a snarky one. Now the dragon wanted to know who Naruto was. Was he just a child who hid under a rock all the time, or what? Naruto knew he was found out, as he was unsure of what to say. "Well, I mean, you aren't from here, are you, a child? I know you didn't wash up here by the shore, nor did you walk out in the forest. So tell me, how did you get here?" The dragon's snout got closer to Naruto, wanting to know who he was, where he came from, and what he was doing here. "I know I sensed a shift when it came to the world. Something happened, as if a hole was torn within the world. Did he come from it? I need to confirm it. Then again, his outfit doesn't scream he is from around here either. Naruto bit his lip knowing he was in a bind now. This dragon was really smart, crazily smart. Naruto eyes this thing on. Kurama. Finally. Damn, this thing is hard to work around. I don't know what happened, but the fact that we're in this new world. There are changes to your body, and working around this thing here was hard. Jeez. The dragon's eyes widened when she noticed Naruto was communicating with someone. Someone that came from within him, because she sensed his magic container activating. Boy, who are you talking to, or should I ask, what are you talking to? Naruto was surprised she could tell. Damn it, she could sense that. How? I think it's because I may or may not have activated your magic container. I told you to wait, you idiot. Naruto flinched when he heard Matatabi whack Kurama upside the head. Naruto sighed, as he rubbed the bridge between his nose. Sigh, I guess there's no use hiding it. Kurama, is my body really at this age right now? Yes, meaning you'll have to wait until your body grows back to its normal state. Your chakra coils are fine, and so is everything else. Hell, I even sense the 6 paths chakra here too. It'll grow with you, but you'll have to train, because from what I'm understanding, your chakra control, and I quote, is completely and utterly shit. MSI, well, let me tell you, Miss Dragon, it's a long story, let me start from here. Naruto lifted his hand in the air, as he moved his right hand from right to left, in a dimension far, far away. Kurama, Matatabi, and the dragon all sweat dropped at Naruto's intro. A few hours later, and that's how I ended up here. I'm technically immortal, and cannot die to old age. Could I be killed? Yes, but the chance of it happening is low, so I was sent here for, I guess, a second chance. Naruto lay flat on his back, exhausted from the explanation. The dragon raised an eyebrow at the bizarre and crazy story of this child. However, something was making her believe him. Show me, is there any proof you came from the said place? Naruto sighed, as he crossed his fingers. Shadow clone jutsu. Like that, the cave was soon full of Naruto clones, and this caused the dragon's eyes to widen in shock. Naruto then also let out a loud gasp of air. He quickly fell to his ass, as he felt almost all his chakra was sapped from him. Naruto, your chakra reserves might be larger than they used to be. The last time you were a kid, but it's still small, be careful. Kurama and Matatabi quickly refilled some of Naruto's chakra with theirs. The dragon lowered its head to sniff the clone. Impressive. I've never seen a technique used like this before, and you didn't even use magic. It's not a thought projection or about a similar concept, alright? You piqued my interest, as a young child. Maybe there's a real reason why we met. The dragon had a toothy grin appear on his face. How about I train you, teach you to become a dragon slayer, then I'm going to send you to the future. Naruto's eyes widened. What? How? Why? You just met me. Also, time travel, you're an idiot. Not only did you time travel, but you also dimension traveled. How are you surprised? Well, I thought only old Gramps 6 paths could do that, and whoever the goddess he worked with. The dragon looked at Naruto, and narrowed her eyes. From my understanding, you'll be a prime candidate to become a dragon slayer. Not only that. Also, I want to know more. Tell me about yourself. The only thing you told me was about your experiences as a shinobi, and who, and what you had to fight. I didn't learn anything about you. Naruto felt a sense of comfort hearing the dragon say that. Wait, you want to learn about me? Or what? Naruto was a little surprised by her telling him this. There are currently other dragons also teaching children to become dragon slayers. I want to do that too. You'll be like my child I can look after. After all, I've always wanted to be a mother. The dragon smiled. So, please, I would love to hear about my child, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto was a little surprised, but this also touched his heart. It felt nice that someone wanted him to be their child. Naruto knew his parents were Kushina and Minato, and he got to talk to them and experience what it was like. But he never got to grow up with a parent. It is nice to have something like this. Was it wrong? Was it a bad idea? Could it have more negative effects? Naruto goes for it. It doesn't hurt, and I don't sense any malice from her. I think you're good. Kurama added, wanting Naruto to get a chance to experience what it was like to have a mother. Naruto smiled, looking up at her, and asked, so what's your name? The dragon smiled and said, my name is Rose Red. I'll be teaching you how to use Sage Dragon Slayer magic. A few months later, Sage Dragon Roar. Naruto let out a bellow that covered a vast majority of the forest, which caused an explosion. The flames themselves were light green, and the explosion was a ball of red fire. Rose smirked, proud of Naruto. I'm impressed to see you come this far in such a short amount of time. Granted, you're from an entirely other dimension. With a new body, you've adapted to Dragon Slayer magic quite easily. It's powerful. My question is if your body can keep up with your magic. Naruto didn't like the idea of having motion sickness. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna deal with that. I'll nip it in the bud, and make sure my body is in top peak condition. Naruto flexed his muscles. Granted, it was not too apparent. He was currently trying to make do with his child's body. He was technically only 3 or so years old. Just then 2 animals came running up next to Naruto. It was a chibi version of Matatabi and Kurama. Naruto, since you're done going over your progress with Rose, it's time for you to work on your chakra control. Rose looked down at the fox. Oi, I'm not done with him just yet. He still needs to practice some of the enhancement spells I taught him. Well, excuse me, but I'm pretty sure we agreed on his training schedule. Pardon me, young lady, but I'm pretty sure I outrank you in age. Kurama said with a threatening tone, but the problem was, he was in his chibi state. Kurama and Matatabi will grow back to their original sizes with time. Meaning their pools of chakra, while on the level of 4 cages. Their chakra will slowly increase with time. Little runt. How dare you. Rose went to rebuttal against Kurama. Kasan, Tusan, stop arguing please. Naruto said sarcastically, which caused both beings to glare at Naruto for the comment. Boy, I did not teach you to be snarky with me, mister. Do you want to go tonight without dinner? Rose growled back, as she slowly transformed back into her human form. Naruto looked at Rose, and smiled. It's still hard to believe that you used to be human, but I'll admit it's different. Rose sighed, as she shook her head. I just hope the meals I make, including the antibodies needed, will prevent that. Naruto walked up next to Rose, and grabbed her hand. Granted, Naruto was technically 306 years old. He was currently a child. It was nice to be able to take things slow, and allow Rose to treat him like a big sister or mother. Naruto throughout this time has always looked up to Rose like a big sister. She didn't seem that old, so mother didn't fit for him. Rose had dark rose-colored hair, her front bangs parted to the right, with a braid that draped down her right side. Naruto had to admit Rose had a body and chest size similar to that of Tsunade. Rose wore a white cloth cape that draped over her back, and another around her waist. She always would wear a rather revealing outfit that had cross-blue segments to her outfit, that revealed some of her flat-toned belly. However, had a skirt that covered the rest of her legs. Naruto waved it off. I'm sure you're doing great, Rose, don't sweat it so much. You get dinner going, I'll finish up my training with Kurama and Matatabi. Rose nodded her head, and turned to Matatabi. Matatabi, make sure the two idiots don't overdo it, please. I'd like to have a nice meal that doesn't have Naruto sitting at the table with bandages and wraps please. Of course, Rose. Though, I want to talk to you for a bit. Matatabi split her chakra, creating a chibi clone that went after Kurama and Naruto. Matatabi and Rose went into their little house that was hidden within the cave, which then proceeded to open up, revealing an opening in the top of the cave that lets light in. Once they got inside the house, Matatabi asked, Rose, I must ask, this entire time you've looked after Naruto. I must ask why take him in, even if you learned about his past and everything. Why? I still don't understand. Rose raised an eyebrow. I'm surprised you didn't ask me this sooner. Why now of all times? Matatabi shook her head, as she narrowed her eyes. It's the fact that I wanted to see what you're all about. See if you hurt Naruto, but so far you haven't treated him well. Very well, I think he looks up to you. Like a parent or older sister. Rose smiled, as she let her eyebrow fall back normally on her face. Well, if you think about it, I've recently gone through a lot, my baby. It's complicated. Let's just say I was in a bad spot with the fact that I am also a dragon because of my magic. I worried greatly for my child, but even so life doesn't work the way you want it. Does it? Matatabi looked at Rose curiously. I'll be honest, I don't fully trust you, but Kurama can sense if one lies or not. I must ask if there are things you're hiding from us. I at least plead with you to think about telling Naruto or us at one point. I don't think I've seen that boy ever be a boy before. Kurama told me what Naruto went through as a child. It was similar to what all other Jinchurikis go through. Rose smiled, as she nodded her head. I guess there are things I still don't wish to tell him, but eventually, the antibodies I produce for him are easy. It's a struggle, but it is easier if I do it by merging myself with him. That way I have a surefire way to make it so that he won't transform like I did. He can't know along with the other dragon slayers, but even then, I'm sure of how to go about a lot of things. Matatabi looked at Rose, and closed her eyes, sighing, I get it, I do, but it'll break his heart eventually. I think you can trust Naruto with this information, he trusts you greatly. Rose turned to Matatabi, and smiled. Thanks Matatabi. If anything, I guess there's one more thing. I should tell you, it's the fact I am pregnant, Matatabi, but I stalled the advancement of the baby. It isn't time to give birth to it. I'm just not sure how I want to do this. I was thinking of allowing myself to use a thought projection, and give it half of my magic container. It would do what I asked of it to look after Naruto, but I'm afraid it would be my newborn. Matatabi was unsure of what to do as well, but an idea did form in her head. Is there a way for me to make the antibodies that Naruto needs? Rose looked at Matatabi shocked. Well, if I remember correctly, there are ways for you to learn, but it could cause you to be a Bijuu dragon if that is even possible. Matatabi didn't give it any thought. I'm glad that we could consider you family, Rose, if that's the case. Then that works for me if it means becoming part Bijuu dragon, and I can help you, your child, and Naruto. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Of course, if this is something you want to keep from Naruto, I get it. Rose smiled. In fact, I don't want him to know I have a child. I don't want him to feel like he is responsible for it, whether it's a boy or girl. In fact, Rose rubbed her belly. It would be funny if it was a girl, and the two did fall in love with one another. I could easily speed up her age, physically, but I think it'll be fine. I'll take care of her, and give birth to her a few years before Naruto is sent through time. That way, when they grow up, they won't know one another. It'll be fate if they meet one another, or even fall for one another. Well, now I hope it is a girl. Matatabi cheered, and purred at the mere thought of it. This caused Rose to chuckle with Matatabi. Matatabi now understands Rose's, and her choices. It was something she was okay keeping secret from Naruto. Time skip 4 years. Alvarez Empire age. Naruto's Earthland age. 7. Real age. 292. Sage Dragon Roar. A blast of light green fire shot towards Rose, as she tanked the attack due to her dragon scales. Naruto jumped towards her, as a Rasengan formed in his hand. Rasengan. Rose held up a claw that cushioned the attack of the Rasengan. Rose flinched. She had to admit, that attack itself was devastating. It shreds, and it does a lot of damage, more than a normal attack would do. Rose opened her mouth, and fired her own attack off. Sage Dragon Roar. Red-hot flames spewed toward Naruto, but he simply opened his mouth, and began to eat Rose's flames. Naruto quickly jumped into the air with his hands extended outwards. The extra magic he ate from Rose's attack, wrapped around his body like a cloak. They took the appearance of light green flame wings. Naruto held both hands up, and shouted, Sage Dragon Secret Art. Special Sage Cannon. A condensed beam of magic gathered into a narrow beam of fire from Naruto's attack. Naruto's attack also had a spiral laser of green around the beam. Rose lifted her wings, and blocked the incoming attack that struck her wings. She smiled behind her wings. He has grown so much, and so quickly over these past few years. I'm impressed he was able to fire off such high-level spells so easily. He'll be a powerful foe for anyone who dares go against him. Rose quickly flared her wings out, which deflected the rest of Naruto's attack. Impressive. Now show me what you can do. Rose charged forward, as she changed back into her human form with her hands ready to fight. Naruto noticed what his parent-like figure wanted him to do. He ran at her, engaging her in hand-to-hand combat. Rose threw a right-hand chop to the left of Naruto's head. He quickly brought his left hand up to not block. Instead, he redirected her attack, and went to attack with his left hand. Rose went to block with her left hand, but saw Naruto reel his left hand short of its mark, a feint. Sneaky little Naruto threw his right hand toward Rose's solar plexus. Rose smirked instead of shifting her body or her arms to block his attack. Rose allowed herself to lower herself down to Naruto's height. Before Naruto knew it, his hand punched into Rose's left boom, cushioning Naruto's attack. A black. Rose, what the hell? Naruto screamed out, as he retracted his hand. Rose quickly swept her feet under Naruto's, causing him to fall flat on his ass. She then aimed her knife fist at Naruto's throat. I won this time. Naruto looked up at Rose, annoyed. Cheater. Rose giggled, as she offered her hand to pick Naruto up. If I remember correctly, when it comes to a life-or-death battle, fairness does not exist. Besides, pretty sure you're a self-proclaimed perv for training under Jiraiya-sama. So educating me using pervy techniques against your opponent is cheating. Just then Matatabi and Kurama, who were now about the size of a full-grown wolf, came walking up. Matatabi smirked, and said, oh yeah, totally fair when you pulled out the reverse harem on her. Even then it did almost succeed. Kurama simply rolled his eyes. I can't believe you still even have that. Kurama despised that along with the sexy itself, my strongest host ever, and he uses perverted attacks pathetically. Naruto closed his eyes, crossing his arms over his chest, and looking away. Oi. It worked on Rabbit Granny. Rose chuckled, as she gestured to them to all follow her. Besides, Naruto, it's time we talked about this, remember? Naruto's eyes whitened. Wait, that was today. Kurama and Matatabi looked at Naruto with saddened looks in their eyes. Rose looked at Naruto with a saddened expression. We worked hard together. You learned some of my enchanting magic, and other spells, including my Sage Dragon Slayer, and Matatabi's Hellfire Dragon Slayer magic. It was a lot for you to learn, but you did it. Naruto frowned. Does this mean I'll never get to see you again? Rose. I don't want you to go. Can't you come with me? Naruto placed his right hand on his left bicep, and gently rubbed it. We've been together for 4 years, and I don't want you to leave. I like being with you. You've given me what I've always wanted. Someone to love, and care for. Your practically family, Rose. I don't want to lose you. Rose understood Naruto's plight, and his love and admiration for her. She placed a hand on his head. Yes, I understand your argument, and the things you've been through. I wish there was more I could do, but I need you to travel to the future. Like we talked about, there's nothing we can do, my dear Naruto. I love you very much, but your place isn't here. There is yet a greater evil out there. We talked about this. You made me a promise. That when the time was right after Acnologia was finished, I would then get to rest in the peace, as well. As foolish as I was, there are some things I can't take back, but I also don't regret the things that have happened, and that will transpire. Rose moved her hand, and placed it on Naruto's left cheek. Rose shook her head, and frowned. I'm so sorry for deceiving you, Naruto. I have to do this when you're asleep. I hope you find it in your heart to forgive me. There are things I cannot tell you, there are things that need to happen, but you cannot know. Due to the flow of time, I'm sure there are so many things that have already changed, and I wish to not cause more problems than there already are. So, please forgive me, but I will not be accompanying you. Rose began to wave her hands, as they began to glow a dark purple. Naruto went to argue, but soon found himself sleepy. Wait, why am I? I can't move. I can't speak. Naruto found himself falling forward, as Rose smiled, as she gently laid Naruto on her lap. Kurama and Matatabi returned to their seals. Naruto saw Rose's lips move, and heard her speak. I'm sorry I lied to you. My real name isn't Rose, but I'm sure we'll meet again. Naruto, I'm so proud of you, and I love you. Naruto read what her lips said, and watched, as tears ran down her cheeks. Before he knew it, his entire world went dark. Ladana Heartfilia July 7th age. Late X 380s. Okay, the plan is in motion, and everything is set. Anna looked at Zeref. I can't believe that this is what you want to do. Just so they can kill you in the future. Zeref nods his head. Well, as long as I want to be killed, I'm sure Natsu will be able to do it. Zeref looked down at the sleeping children who were ready to be sent into the future. Just then someone appeared behind them. Anna was on guard looking at the woman who now stood there. However, the woman was standing there with a blonde boy who was a bit younger than some of the others. However, I was older than Wendy. Just who are you? Anna asked defensively. I mean no harm, Zeref, I'm sure you remember me. The name is Irene Bulsirian. Irene looked at the boy in her arms, and kissed his forehead. This one here is Naruto Uzumaki, my child. I already have someone working on his antibodies to prevent him from becoming a dragon. I was hoping you would grant passage to send him too. Anna then relaxed, and smiled. I see no harm, granted it might be surprising, but I see no problem with it. Zeref looked at Naruto, he could sense a great deal of power from him. That was still hidden, and yet to be unlocked. I see no harm. Whoever he is, I can't wait to see how strong you'll become. If Natsu can't beat me, maybe he can. Irene gently laid Naruto down, but once she did, she found tears rolling down her cheeks. It was like she was giving up her child. Even if it was only for 4 years, she looked after him. Fed him, clothed him, taught him, she passed as much knowledge to him as she could. It was the first time she had ever gotten a taste of what being a mother was like. Irene rubbed Naruto's cheeks. My sweet boy, take care, remember I will always, and forever love you. She knelt, and kissed Naruto on the cheek. Irene slowly stepped back, as Anna Heartfilia went to do her thing to open up the Eclipse Gate. July 7th Earthland Age. X 777, Naruto's Earthland Age. 669, Physical Age. 7. Layla Heartfilia breathed tirelessly, as she opened the gate to the Eclipse Gate. She saw a total of 6 lights come out of the gate. She saw them shoot across the sky in different directions. However, she did note one ball of light shot toward her house direction. Layla turned towards her comrades to figure out what to do next. July 8th Earthland Age. X 777, Naruto's Earthland Age. 669, Physical Age. 7. After she failed attempts to get the King of Fiori, Toma, to have the gate destroyed. He refused, and even then so, Layla was forced to use her own magic and life force to replace the one celestial key that was missing. Layla had a carriage take her back home to see her daughter Lucy and her husband. Layla couldn't wait to be home and spend what time she had left with her daughter. Just then the carriage stopped, as the driver called out, Layla-sama, we have a problem in front of us. Layla, even though exhausted, stuck her head out the window. What she saw shocked her. There was a large gap in the middle of the road. It's as if a comet came crashing down toward the ground and carved up the ground. Layla felt as if all her exhaustion left her body. She bolted out the door. Her driver, Jarvis, knowing Layla's condition, shouted, Layla-sama, you shouldn't be up. Your body. Screw it. If it's one child that landed here, at least I can try to do something. Layla ran along the giant scar across the ground. The tail end was rather narrow, but it was clear, as the scar became bigger and bigger, something landed here. Her driver eventually arrived, and walked alongside her. Soon the two came across a sleeping boy. He had spiky blonde hair, and 3 whisker marks on each cheek. Not only that, but his outfit was not the normal attire someone would wear in this timeline. She gently lifted the boy by his neck. She smiled, this must be one of them. I didn't expect 6, but maybe there was one more that was added in. Nonetheless, maybe I can give this one a head start on their journey. Then maybe Lucy can also figure out what she wants to do. Layla turned to her driver, Jarvis, we're taking him back to the Heartfilia estate, we're taking him in. Jarvis nodded his head, very well Layla-sama. He bowed, and quickly ran towards the carriage, and quickly brought it around for Layla to get into. Layla picked up the boy. She was relatively surprised to find the boy well-toned with some muscle beginning to form on his body. Soon her driver brought the carriage around, went around the large crater, and continued their way back home. A few hours later, Heartfilia estate. Layla was soon brought into the house, where she was quickly brought to a bed. Layla's husband Jude Heartfilia came in. Honey, I must congratulate you on your success on your journey. But I must ask, why did you bring home this stray boy? Maids and butlers came and went since they were trying to help Layla. Layla smiled and said, he was one of the kids that were sent here. I don't know where some of the others are. However, when our driver, Jarvis, notified me, I saw the boy, and I knew he had no place to go. So, I thought, why not give him a place to be at? Give him a home, and maybe a loving family for the boy. I'm sure he'll do great things. Jude was not amused. He loved his wife and daughter Lucy very much. I don't know, dear. This is somebody we don't even know. Someone you found in a crater. We can't just bring a random boy in. Besides, we don't know what he is like. Honey, whatever this thing you were part of. I love you. I took my step back, and you did what you were supposed to do. Let's end it here, sweetie, plus you don't look well. I have a doctor coming over soon to check you out. Layla smiled as she looked up at him and gently took his hand. Jude looked at her with confusion and worried about her health. Jude, if you love me and Lucy, then please just do this once. Trust me on this. I think Lucy will have a great friend. He can almost be a like son to you and me. We should give it a chance, please, dear. Jude looked at his wife with worry, and he was confused and unsure of things. However, he loved and trusted his wife very much. So, he relented and nodded his head. I understand. I'll make sure he is looked after until you get better. Soon, the doctor came walking in. Ah, Dr. Parker. I'm so glad you're here. Dr. Parker came walking in and nodded his head. Glad to come when you ever call for help, Jude-san. I'll come to take a look over Layla-san for you. With Naruto and Lucy. Lucy, the daughter of Jude, and Layla her filia slowly came walking up to a door. Well, it wasn't just any door. Lucy saw from her window her mother carrying someone in her arms. She watched as Jarvis, one of Layla's most trusted servants, took him into this room. Lucy walked up to the door and slowly opened it. She then silently snuck herself into the room, closing the door behind her. Lucy panned her eyes across the room until they stopped on a bed. She saw the boy with blonde hair and a strange outfit laying on the bed. She slowly and silently made her way up to the bed and slowly got on. Lucy slowly and quietly got onto the bed, and she stared at the boy with curiosity. Now she was closer. She noticed the 3 whisker-like marks on both of his cheeks. Lucy slowly crawled up to the boy, looking at him curiously. She placed a finger on her lip and asked herself, I wonder if those are real. Did his parents seriously let him get a tattoo? Lucy tilted her head, looking at the boy. No, that sounds unlikely. I wonder what his name is. I wonder how they feel. Lucy extended her hand out towards Naruto's cheek. Slowly but surely, Lucy found her hand up against the boy's cheek. Soft. Lucy giggled as she then moved them across one of his whiskers. Just then the boy moved slightly in his sleep. Wait, can he feel me touching these? Lucy went ahead and then only let her finger glide across his whisker marks. Much to her enjoyment, she hears a light purring-like sounds coming from the boy's mouth. Whoa, he purrs almost like a kitten. I wonder if boys like him have these, and Otu-san doesn't have them, but why does he? Now I wanna know his name. I wanna know who he is. He needs to wake up. Lucy then smirked as she moved her fingers over Naruto's nose. She giggled as she then gently pinched her fingers over his nostrils. Momentarily the boy stopped breathing as Lucy waited for his reaction. However, what she didn't expect was the boy to slap her hand away. He then shifted in his sleep and his arm got entangled with Lucy's. Wait. Whoa. Lucy quickly slapped her other hand over her mouth. She found herself on the bed with the boy's arm entangled in hers. She realized that her hand was stuck behind the boy's back. Lucy, now panicking at the situation, got herself it. Now began to pull her hand out from the boy's back. She brought her other hand around to lift the boy ever so slightly. Thankfully, she had just enough strength to slightly lift the boy's shoulder. Then pull her hand free. Yes, I'm free. Just then the boy shifted in his sleep again. He then proceeded to rotate his body towards her. He extended his arm out and pulled Lucy in for a snuggle while he slept. Lucy found herself blushing as she felt the strange boy randomly hugging her. How did this happen? I just wanted him to wake up. But he sleeps like a log. Just then the boy muttered, Matatabi, you're warm. Lucy was now beginning to become irritable as she screamed in her head, well, I don't know who this Matatabi is. But you need to let go. Just then Lucy began to pick the boy's arm up off of her. Just then Lucy saw someone from the corner of her eye. She looked over to find her mother staring at her with a blush on her face. Otu-san. Layla was now up and giggling at the scene in front of her. Meanwhile, Jude's eyes widened as he stared at what his daughter was doing. It looked like his jaw was about to fall off. Just then the boy himself began to stir as his blue eyes flickered for a moment due to his eyelids being in the way. Naruto's sight was a bit fuzzy, but eventually, his eyes focused to find a pair of brown eyes staring back at him in surprise. Naruto then looked over to see a woman who looked exactly like the little girl. He then saw the man behind Layla. Naruto raised an eyebrow and asked, wait, Naruto. You've been in situations like this before. A cute blonde girl who seems to be in my arms for whatever reason. Then an older looking one who is stunning, by the way. And then that old do I know exactly what to do. Who is the Gigi-chan over there? Layla covered her mouth trying to stop herself from laughing. GRRKM. Lucy's eyes widened as she also slapped her hand over her mouth. Let's just say that Jude did not take kindly to that insult. Few moments later, after Layla did her best to get her cursed, an angry husband calmed down. After the family had calmed down, Jude stood near the bed. Layla sat on the bed, and Lucy sat in her mother's lap. Layla smiled. Well, before we begin, why don't we begin with formalities first? My name is Layla Herfilia. Layla had her hand over her chest. She then gestured to her husband. This lovely old man here is my husband, Jude heard Philia. A chunny Jude looked toward his wife feeling betrayed. I'm only teasing dear, Laya giggled. This little one here is my little girl Lucy heard Philia. Naruto was glad. He was able to learn everyone's names, and smiled back. Seeing the room she was in, and how everyone was dressed, he was able to deduce he was in someone's house that seemed to be very wealthy. Not only that, but also very proper, and thanks to over 400 years of being alive, he knew how to act. Naruto appropriately bowed his head. First and foremost, the pleasure is all mine. He then raised it to talk to the Maida-I. I would also like to apologize for my current appearance, as I did not know where I was, and what happened to myself. Jude, now seeing a different side to Naruto, began to take notice. No worries, my wife decided to bring you back to our mansion. I am simply honoring her favor. Jude wanted to see what Naruto was like more. No need to be so formal either, sweetie, just be yourself. Layla also added, hoping Naruto would ease up. Naruto nodded his head. I appreciate it, her Phileas-san, but in this situation, I'm in. I think being appropriate is proper etiquette in your current presence. Naruto simply nodded his head, understanding what Laya was trying to convey. With that said, I am Naruto Uzumaki. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. As it is you, as well. Jude added, as he continued to monitor Naruto's actions. Layla gave the same polite nod, along with Lucy, who stared at Naruto intently. Well, I must ask, but where am I? I don't remember much after the person I was being looked after disappeared. Naruto looked around with a frown on his face. I am not in the forest of Little Garden, in the Alvarez Empire. Layla frowned and shook her head. I am afraid that you are no longer in the Alvarez Empire. I am surprised you remembered where you were. However, it seems you understand a lot of what's been going on. Layla turned her head to Lucy and Jude. For this, dear, I need you to take Lucy. Jude understood, but Lucy said, can I play with Naruto-kun afterwards? Lucy asked quickly, and Jude looked at Layla. Layla simply nodded her head yes, which Jude nodded with her. Yes, you can, but there is something I need to talk to Naruto-kun about. It's very important, think of it like business, Lucy. Lucy crossed her arms over her chest. Work again? That's boring. Naruto chuckled, as did Layla, when Jude walked over and picked his daughter up. Come on, my little Haim, why don't we get a snack from the kitchen? The two soon left and exited the room, leaving Naruto and Layla alone. Layla looked at Naruto and smiled and asked, Naruto dear, do you know entirely why you're here? Naruto scratched the top of his head. Yeah, I was told why I was sent here, so I am in the future, huh? Layla was a little surprised by how much Naruto already knew about the plan. Mainly have Aknoloja and Zeref eventually defeated and prevent other future events from happening. I see. Well, if it means anything, I'm sure you'll get to see your dragon again someday. Naruto smiled and nodded his head. Yeah, I don't know where Rose could be, or well, even if that's even her name. Naruto looked down upset. He still loved and looked up to Rose gravely. Yet, there were some things she couldn't tell him. Rose isn't even her real name either. Layla smiled and placed a hand on his head. I'm surprised by how much you were told, but all we can do now is keep moving forward. For now, why don't you stay with us? I got my husband to agree, and I think it would be nice if Lucy got a childhood friend to be with. Naruto, I feel it's fine to stay here for a little bit, but I do not suggest staying here long. Kurama suggested, as Matatabi looked at him confused. Think about it, you need to keep training. You can do that easier if you go off on your own for a bit. Matatabi had to admit that it was well thought out. Wow, that makes sense. For now, you can enjoy and thank the woman for taking you in, but staying here isn't a good idea. You need to get stronger. Naruto mentally nodded his head. Yeah, I hear you guys. Naruto looked up to Layla and smiled. Yeah, I'll stay for now, but I can't stay forever though. Layla frowned. How come? You're more than welcome to stay, as long as you need. You can train on the property and not have to worry about anything. It's because I know your special reason for being here. Even still, I can help you here with anything you need. Just then Layla suddenly began coughing, as she felt weak. Her vision blurred, as she almost slumped forward. Naruto quickly moved, as he gently moved Layla towards the headboard of the bed. Naruto panicked a bit, as he was unsure of what was going on with her. Hey. What's going on, are you okay? The door soon opened with Jarvis walking in with a frown on his face. Perhaps you can do something for me, Naruto-sama. I apologize, Layla-sama, but I listened in on your conversation when it came to training and magic. Is there anything in magic you know that could help her? Naruto raised an eyebrow. What's wrong with her? Layla tried to intervene. Jarvis, don't worry about it. There's nothing else Naruto could do. He isn't a healer. That's not what his magic does. Just then Jude and Lucy came walking back. I heard Layla began coughing. Are you okay, dear? Jude came over to Layla's side and he gently took her hand. What's wrong? Why are you coughing? Lucy quickly jumped onto the bed with tears in her eyes. She knew something was wrong. Especially when her mother came home and almost immediately went to lie in bed. Jarvis frowned as he looked down. Layla-sama was suffering from magic deficiency disease. It was due to her substituting her magic for one of the missing celestial keys to open the eclipse gate. Jarvis was the only other person who knew what Layla was doing. In case something did go awry. Gyud frowned. The doctor said that Layla won't last much longer, she will eventually pass away. Naruto's eyes whitened upon hearing this, and Lucy began to cry, as she hugged her mother. She began to cry, begging her mother not to leave her. Naruto looked at Layla, Lucy, and Gyud. He could see the family was hurting. Yet he could see Laya, although sad that she will have to leave her family. She was smiling. She was probably glad that she was able to save him. She sacrificed her well-being to make sure he and the other dragon slayers made it through the Eclipse Gate, just so they could beat some guy named Zeref and Aknoloja. Naruto's hair covered his face. It's not fair that another child gets to lose a parent. Naruto didn't want to play God or manipulate things. He knew things like this had repercussions. If I were to interfere, how much would it change things? Would I disrupt what Layla and the others had planned for the other dragon slayers? Naruto didn't know what to do until a voice spoke up. Naruto, you do what you feel is right. If you think you should save her, then do so, whatever you choose, no Kurama, and I will always believe you made the right choice. Kurama stayed silent, showing he was agreeing with what Matatabi said. Naruto opened his eyes and turned to Layla. Naruto then looked at his right hand, Kurama Matatabi. Do I always have the six-path chakra active? Kurama responded, which made Naruto wonder what he should do. He did prevent Might Guy from dying after using the 8 gate. Naruto turned to the Herfilia family and asked, Layla, Jude, Lucy, and Jarvis, promise me whatever happens in this room you guys won't ask me questions. Nor let whatever happens in this room out of it. Jude looked at Naruto, wary of him. Boy, what do you plan on doing? Do you have some sort of healing magic? Lucy then said, Oh, Tusan. He said not to question him. Let's just give him a chance. I don't want to lose mommy. Jude looked at his daughter. Honestly, he couldn't care less, as long as his wife got to live. It was Jude's protectiveness of his wife that made him ask the question. I'm sorry, you may proceed. Jude lowered his head. He wished he could do more for his wife. He felt powerless, and he felt that he was for the first time. He could do nothing, as the man of the house, and do nothing to save his wife from death. Then his daughter from the pain and suffering of losing her mother. Naruto could understand how Jude felt, but Naruto never got to have a family of his own. Naruto scooched over next to Layla, and Layla saw what looked like a white sun on the palm of his right hand. Naruto placed his hand onto Layla's hand, as he channeled the 6 paths chakra into her. He found what seemed to be her magic container was damaged badly, and it was continuously leaking out magic. He then sent his chakra into her, and began to mend her container. Soon Naruto then removed his hand, and said, There your magic container was damaged, and was leaking magic out continuously. You should feel your magic coming back to you gradually. Jude looked to his wife for confirmation, and Layla closed her eyes, and searched her magic container. Steadily she could feel it refilling. I can feel it. Layla turned to Naruto, and smiled. Thank you so much, Naruto. Of course, what you said, and did here will stay with us. That is a guarantee. Lucy smiled brightly, as she turned to Naruto, and tackled Naruto, wrapping her arms around his neck. Thank you so much for saving my Aka-chan. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Layla giggled, as she watched Lucy hugging Naruto tightly, and Jude couldn't believe what he was hearing. He smiled, as he felt some tears run down his cheek. Naruto, and Lucy turned to see Jude with tears running down his cheek. Thank you. Jude got down on both knees, and pressed his head to the ground. Thank you for saving my wife. I was originally hesitant to let Layla have you stay here. Forgive this foolish old man. When I learned she was going, I didn't know what I could do. Why you? Even though I treated you as a nobody, and wanted nothing to do with you. Yet you still helped us, so thank you. Naruto chuckled, as he rubbed the back of his head. Don't sweat it, Herfilia-san, no need to. Jude shot up from his knees, and shouted, No. Please. I can't have someone who just saved my wife call me by my last name like that. Please, Jude is fine. You're more than welcome to stay, as long as you like my boy. I think Lucy would quite like to have a friend, don't you think, Lucy? Lucy nodded her head. Yeah. I got a friend to play with now. Lucy cheered, as she stuck both of her hands up into the air. Kurama and Matatabi both silently watched, as Naruto seemingly and unintentionally joined another family. The only question is how long he'll stay. Sweetie, why don't we get dinner prepared? I could eat. Layla looked at Jude, who only nodded his head in agreement. Let's make it a feast. Let's celebrate Layla's newfound health. Thanks to Naruto for healing her. How about just Layla getting better? Naruto chuckled, as he raised his hand in the air. Jude then suddenly blushed in embarrassment. Oh right, I'm sorry my dear boy, I just got a little too excited. Layla was amazed. Even if it was for a moment, Layla saw the man she married. Granted, he didn't change too much, but there were some slight differences. Layla looked at Naruto, and wondered, I wonder if this is who Naruto is, his ability to change people so easily. I've never seen this before. It'll be interesting to watch him grow. 6 months later, Naruto during this time would continue to train on his own while he had free time. He worked on his chakra control, and learned to combine chakra natures to create different Kekkei Genkai he originally wouldn't have. This piqued Layla's interest in seeing Naruto train. She never asked him along with everyone else, no one asked about his abilities. Naruto would tell Layla about his magic, and what he has learned. Even Lucy got to obtain Aquarius, one of the celestial keys needed to open the Eclipse Gate. Grammy, who held onto the key, a servant to Layla, was thankful after hearing that Layla would survive. So, she came to give the celestial key to Lucy, hoping it would bring Lucy to help in the future. Thankfully, Naruto was there, and was able to save Grammy from being killed by Zoldio. He was one of Layla's most trusted servants, but it was clear he was a threat. Naruto wanted to turn him over, but by Layla's plea, released him. Even if Naruto didn't agree with that situation, he very much enjoyed his time at the Heartfilia mansion. Being with the family gave Naruto a sense of another family, but he knew he couldn't keep relying on him. They taught him to read and write, even though he could understand and speak their language. Their written language is vastly different from the language Naruto knew from the elemental nations. Naruto continued to train, and spent plenty of time with Lucy, Layla, and Jude. Which Jude, even though had a lot of work, made plenty of time to spend with Lucy, Layla, and surprisingly Naruto too. Jude took a great liking to Naruto, mainly due to him saving his wife, but Naruto found out that Jude was a nice guy. He cared for his family, looked out for them, and made sure his servants had everything they needed. Naruto even got to meet some of the big-time players that Jude works with. This included other wealthy people, who were businessmen, who held great power and wealth. Jude did ask Naruto if he even thought of taking over his business. Jude seemed to be on board if Naruto married Lucy, and simply inherited the business from him and Layla. As nice as it would have been, Naruto isn't a businessman, and would only drag the business down. Jude fully understood. Jude knew that Lucy wasn't interested in the business either. She was more interested in following her mother's footsteps. The two talked a lot about wanting to join a guild, and Lucy asked if Naruto would want to join Fairy Tail, one of the more notable guilds known in Fiori. Though Layla said that Lucy was too young to join, let alone go off on her own, telling her that she would have to be older before she went out, and did something like that. This now gets us to where Naruto was standing by the Heartfilia mansion doors with a backpack. Currently, Lucy was holding on to Naruto in a tight hug, not wanting to let go. Do you have to leave, Naruto? Lucy looked at Naruto with an upset look on her face. Naruto nodded his head. Yeah, I'm sorry about this, Lucy, but I need to go out there and continue to get stronger. You're a holder type mage, so your mother is the best to teach you. I need to go out there and get stronger by experience. I hope you can understand why I need to go. Lucy frowned. I know, but I'm just going to miss hanging out with you. It was fun having a friend to play with or hang out with. Naruto simply patted her head. I'm sure we'll meet Lucy again. Just for now I need to go my own separate way. Naruto then looked up to see Jude, and Layla came walking into the front room. Besides, you got a baby brother that you'll have to look after. Naruto could see Layla, who was 6 months pregnant with their newest addition to the family. Jude had a small smile on his face. Do you have to go, son? You know you're allowed to stay, as long as you like. Jude began to see Naruto as one of his children, but he couldn't say that. He and Layla agreed to not treat Naruto like their own child, as much as they wanted to. It was due to Lucy. They didn't want Naruto to feel like they were a family. That way, if Naruto and Lucy ever got together, it would be something easier for Naruto to get the idea for, so he didn't look at Lucy like a sister. Yeah, I do, but I am very thankful for what you and Layla have done for me, as well as Lucy for keeping my company and having someone to play with. Naruto turned to Jarvis, as well as all the tips about life to Jarvis. Naruto nodded his head towards the butler, who also nodded his head. Of course, Naruto-sama, was my pleasure. Jarvis gave a polite bow. Lucy frowned as she looked at Naruto. I will see you again one day, right? If we do, can we meet at Fairy Tail? Lucy brought her head into Naruto's chest, hugging him. Naruto smiled as he held up his hand to give her a fist bump. Then let's do this, Lucy. Get stronger. Go through those fighting styles I taught you. Make contracts with your celestial spirits. I'll promise to continue getting stronger and meet you at Fairy Tail once we're ready to do so. I'll either meet you there or wait for you. Let's make a promise. Naruto Uzumaki never, ever goes back on his promises. Lucy went from an upset pouting look on her face to one that is smiling and holding hope. Alright, I promise you, Lucy smiled back as she hugged Naruto closely. Naruto and Lucy gently broke their hug. Be a good big sis for your little brother, okay? With that said, I'll probably head on out. Naruto waved to everyone with a giant smile on his face. I appreciate everything you've done for me, guys. I'll be sure to write and stop to visit when I'm in the area. Naruto opened the door and walked out. Once he did, he saw the other maids and butlers he knew and helped out when he could, standing in 2 lines split between butlers and maids. Be well, Naruto-sama. They all sat in unison, which they bowed to him. Naruto shook his head, turning to the butlers. Take care, everyone. Carl, Sam, Evan, Steve, and Simon. Naruto then turned to the maids, Lily, Kathy, Naomi, Satellizor, Ingrid, and Elise. Naruto continued to walk ahead through the garden to go off on his adventure. Jude, Layla, and Lucy came walking out to see Naruto walking away. Lucy watched as he walked away and mumbled, better not find another girl other than me. Lucy began to think back to what Aquarius said about her not having a boyfriend. It kind of annoyed her thinking about someone else being with Naruto other than her. Layla watched as the boy she took in for a bit walked away. She understood why he couldn't stay. He had to go out there and get stronger. Doing so can prepare him for the future. Layla looked down to see her daughter upset to see her first friend go away. Layla smirked, "So you're going to miss Naruto, Lucy?" Lucy nodded her head. "I'm sure you'll see him again someday." Lucy said nothing. "What'll happen if he makes new friends?" "It'll be okay, I'm sure we'll all be friends." Lucy responded. "What if he finds a girlfriend?" Layla giggled as she looked at her daughter once again. "What, no? He better." Lucy turned to her mother angrily, but froze as she saw the smirking faces of her parents. Jarvis chuckled as he said, "Looks like Lucy Haim has a crush. Should we expect Lucy Haim to marry Naruto?" "Jarvis." Lucy screamed in embarrassment as Lucy placed both hands on her face to try to hide her blushing. "With Naruto." Naruto looked up at the sky as he walked. "I wondered where we first went." "Well, if anything, we should head to a place where there are creatures to fight. That way, if we can get ourselves accustomed more to magic, figure out where we need to go and what we need to do." Kurama noted importantly that Naruto nodded his head. "Should I even think about joining a guild, specifically Fairy Tail?" Naruto asked, wondering what Matatabi and Kurama's thoughts were. "I think for now you should just train, figure out your magic, and continue your training with chakra. Besides, your control is already still at Jonin level right now. You got a lot of catching up to do. It will be a while before you even get back to your original state." Matatabi stated wisely. She didn't want Naruto to get upset or frustrated, since he has to start all over again. Naruto nodded his head. "Well, let's begin our adventure in this world. We wouldn't know what it's like until we get out there. We also need to get stronger. That way whatever is coming, it's not a repeat of the 4th grade Shinobi War." Naruto smiles as he looks up at the sky. "Yeah, I won't lose anyone, not again." Naruto looked at the ground as all his fellow shinobi he graduated flashed through his mind. He hopes that this world never sees war. Because no matter what world, place, or time, war never changes. Time skip 10 years. July 2nd, Earthland Age. X 784, Naruto's Earthland Age. 679, Physical Age. 17. Naruto Uzumaki became one of the biggest mysteries to the current Magic Council, and one of the infamous mages who wasn't part of a guild. There were plenty of rumors, stories, and gossip about him that continued to go through the grapevine in Magnolia. So much so, other guild masters sent their own to try to find Naruto and recruit him. However, they were mainly the dark guilds that hunted for him, that are some of the well-known ones like Phantom Lord, Lamina's Scale, and Blue Pegasus. Naruto made his way towards Fairy Tail, after many years of waiting. As well as a few years of being Emiya from a certain Hertfilia family, he still wrote, just didn't visit since he was quite busy. Where he meant busy, Naruto was currently busy with either doing side jobs or the well-being of a certain someone he thought would be great for this world. I wonder how much Lucy has changed. Been 5 or so years since you last saw her. NYA, I can't wait for Naruto. Think any of those girls we met on our travels ended up growing up to be possible mates for you? Matatabi continued to cheer and purr within Naruto's seal, which made even Kurama chuckle. I must agree, if you wanted to you could have quite a few girlfriends. Kurama smirked as he lay in the sea with his front paws crossed and his head resting on them. Naruto simply shook his head. I think you two are thinking too much about it. It'll be nice to see them again. I just hope I've gotten strong. I want to know how strong some of the wizard saints are. Maybe even test my skills against an S-class from Fairy Tail. If I correctly remember some recent S-class from there are Erza Scarlet, Mirajane Strauss, Laxus Dreyer, Gildarts Clive, and finally, Mystigan. Naruto soon saw the Fairy Tail guild off in the distance. Naruto hopped to the roofs of buildings and began to run in a streamlined fashion. Naruto didn't bolt for it, but he ran at a steady pace so he could look at his surroundings. Ah, you'll be able to crush them all with ease. They're nothing compared to your and our power. Kurama said boastfully with a large grin on his face. That way you can show off to that Lucy girl. Naruto just sighed, deciding to ignore Kurama and this entire conversation of dating anyone, especially having anyone close like a significant other. Naruto soon found himself at the entrance to Fairy Tail and opened the doors. Naruto looked in to find the entire guild in an uproar. Naruto saw a boy with pink hair in a fight with a boy with black hair who had nothing but pants on. Another person had white hair, was big and buff, and was shouting things about being a real man. And a bunch of other members were in a fight. Naruto continued to pan the entire guild, seeing a bunch of people until Naruto's eyes landed on Lucy. Naruto couldn't believe how much she could grow in 5 years. Lucy was wearing her typical ponytail using an orange scrunchie. Lucy ended up growing up similar to her mother Layla. She inherited her mother's buxom figure and her curvaceous body. Naruto saw her talking to a girl with a slim young woman of below average height. She has long, white hair which curls slightly at the ends, with 2 bangs framing her face and reaching down to her chest. Her hairstyle's most distinctive trait is a short, upward ponytail obtained by gathering and tying the hair covering her forehead. She has large blue eyes and a curvy, voluptuous body with large breasts. The girl adorned a sleeveless, ankle-length maroon dress with a pleated skirt. The chest is adorned by a large pink bow, and similarly colored trimmings frame the rather ample neckline, acting as straps, and a circle around the waist. The white-haired girl was to Lucy's right with another girl with a white head to the left of Lucy's side. The girl to Lucy's left also had white hair that was about neck length. She wore a short dark red dress with a white collar and bow. Up on her arms above her elbows, she wore gold rings with a pale pink fabric flowing down from them. She wore tall black socks along with brown shoes. Naruto smirked as he looked left and right as some fairy tale members looked at him. Naruto began to walk towards the bar over where Lucy and the two girls were. However, when the crowd that was fighting began to move closer to Naruto, Naruto saw the big white-haired man flung backward toward the girls at the bar. Naruto quickly dashed forward hoping to prevent him from hitting the girls. Lucy, Mira, and Lisana who were talking were interrupted when Lucy shouted, "Look out." Lucy screamed out as she lifted her hand to block the giant guy from hitting them. She lifted her right foot and shot it out hoping to kick the guy, redirecting him away. Just then someone moved in front of her as her foot connected with the man. Lucy still pushed all her momentum into her leg and followed through. However, once her foot made contact, her foot continued as the man was sent flying to the side with the big giant white-haired man tumbling to the side. Naruto, not seeing Lucy going to kick, shouted, "Oh Kami," as Naruto was sent flying at a nearby table, crashing into it. Mira and Lisana both chuckled. Lisana said, "Oh boy, that was Elfman Nai. He can be so clumsy at times." Ahahaha. Mira shook her head slowly to the left and right. "Gotta admit I feel bad for the boy you just kicked. Have to admit though, you got a strong right kick." Lucy, sheepish from the compliment, said, "Why yeah, well I learned thanks to someone who helped give me pointers on how to fight." The three turned to Elfman who slowly stood back up. "Man, that was not manly at all. A real man continues even if he is knocked down." Elfman took off charging back into the fray, punching the pink-haired boy across the face. Once Elfman got back into the fight, they all continued to look at the boy who Lucy accidentally kicked. Naruto looked down and slowly stood up and dusted himself off from his legs. "Up, man, I have to admit Lucy, you sure got strong, and a hell of a lot quicker the last time we saw one another." Naruto then looked up and he looked at Lucy with a smile on his face. Lucy's eyes widened as she looked at Naruto. "Wait, Naruto." Lucy screamed out as she looked at how much Naruto had changed since the last time she saw him. Naruto chuckled as he gave her his classical smile and nodded his head. "Yep. In the flesh off." Before Naruto knew it, Lucy slammed into him as she hugged him with both arms up against his body. Naruto looked down to see some tears of joy on her face. His bright smile changed to a gentle one and he wrapped his arms around her. "It's good to see you again, Luce. It's been a while." Soon the two girls Lucy was next to come walking over with a smile on their faces. "So you must be the infamous Naruto Lucy was talking about. She was telling us a lot about you." Lisana said with a cute smile on her face. "I'll admit that you're not too bad to look at." Lisana giggled as she looked at Mirajane. Mira on the other hand, when she came walking up to Naruto, looked at him strangely. "Well, it is nice to meet you, but I swear we have seen you before." Mira placed a hand on her lip as she stared at Naruto. Naruto knew what they were talking about. Lisana was too curious about what her big sister Mira meant. Slowly Lucy pulled away from Naruto as she wiped away some tears. "You dummy, I can't believe if you didn't visit for almost 5 years. Hahu was worried sick about you, and Otu-san. I was worried too. You only kept sending us letters, but you never stopped visiting after a while. Why?" Naruto looked at Lucy, understanding her plight and her being upset at him. Naruto placed a hand on top of her head and gently patted it. "I have no excuse for not visiting, simply for the fact that I was busy training. Going around Fiori and seeing the country, which included fighting monsters, beasts, and other mages, or dark guilds. I was kept busy, and a lot of what I did was dangerous. I made enemies I'm sure out there too. I couldn't risk being seen going back to your place. Not only that, but my training itself was harsh and difficult." Naruto knew he could just transform and hide his identity, but he wanted Lucy to grow up without him. He knew when they were younger, she clung to him and relied on him a lot. He wanted to make sure she could be independent and handle herself without him. Besides, her trying to keep up with him would have been almost impossible, and she would have only slowed him down. Lucy simply shook her head and smiled. "I'm just glad you're here, and you kept your promise. Now we can enjoy being part of Fairy Tail together." Mira smiled, taking a step forward. "Ah, I see you're also interested in joining. Let me go get Master to notify him." Mira walked away to go get their Master of the Guild. Naruto turned to the other girl. "Name's Naruto. A pleasure to meet you." "Nice to meet you too. I'm Lisana. The big lug over there you caught was Elfman Nai. He's my big brother. My Nisan is Mirajane, but everyone calls her Mir. Glad you came to join the guild," Lisana said with a bright smile on her face. "I'm glad to have joined the guild too. I can't wait to see what this is all about too." Naruto gave her a thumbs up, while Lisana was interested in who Naruto was. Just then Mira and an old man came walking up to Naruto. Naruto was surprised to see the man Mira was with was a very short elderly man. He has black eyes, and is growing bald with only the outer rims of his head containing white hair. He was wearing a white shirt with a black fairy tale stamp in the middle under an orange hoodie. His attire was complete with matching orange shorts and an orange and blue striped jester hat. The master of the guild stuck his hand out to Naruto. "Ah, hello there, young man. A pleasure to meet you. I am Makarov Dreyer, the master of this guild. Who might you be? I heard you're interested in joining the guild." Makarov took a look at Naruto's eyes, wondering what type of person he was. "A pleasure to meet you, master. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and yes, I am looking to join this guild." Naruto shook Makarov's hand, and Naruto could tell just how wise and powerful the guildmaster was. "Wonderful. Just have Mira place a stamp on you, and you're ready to go," Makarov said with a very bright smile on his face. He was very happy to have a child join his guild. Mira nodded her head. "Naruto, where would you like your guild mark? What color too?" Naruto smirked. "I want it on the back of my right hand. Orange please." Mira took the stamp and placed it on his hand and added some magic. Naruto saw the guild mark appear orange on his hand. "There you go, there's your stamp." Makarov went to cheer out. "Now everyone listens up." The entire guild stopped after Makarov got their attention. "We got 2 brand new guild members. Now let's party." Just then Mira quickly went to Naruto's side and quickly tapped his shoulder. "Wait a second. I know where I've seen you before." The entire guild looked towards Mira. Makarov asked, "Mira my dear, what do you mean?" Mira looked closely at Naruto's eyes and reached her hand up to his face. "May I?" Naruto simply nodded his head. Damn, there's no way she recognizes him, does she? Kurama and Natatobi both thought at the time watching this play out. Mira placed her hand on his face and closed her eyes. She felt out for Naruto's magic, and then her eyes opened. "I knew it. It was you, wasn't it? You the one who saved me, Alfman, and Lisana 2 years ago. Wasn't it? Your magic. It feels so similar to what you were using that day. You used takeover magic." Lisana's and Alfman's eyes when they heard Mira say this. Even Natsu looked at Naruto with interest in his eyes, and Makarov looked at Naruto intently. Naruto was very surprised Mira saw this, but he had to give it to her. She was right. Naruto smiled as he nodded his head. "I wondered if those 3 kids I saved that day were you 3. Naruto chuckled as he began to flower, as his features began to change. Naruto grew to the size of about a wolf, as he had 9 swing tails behind him, with orange fur, blood-red eyes with slits, and 3 whisker-like marks on his face. "Yeah, you're exactly correct." Naruto then transformed back into his normal human form, as Lisana and Alfman quickly surrounded Naruto, pulling him into a hug along with Mirajane. The 3 all cried out together, "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." The 3 chanted. Once they let him go, Alfman slapped Naruto on the back. "You're a real man, Naruto. Thanks for saving both of my sisters." Lisana wiped a tear from the corner of her eye. "Thank you for saving me. That saved my Nai-chan and Ni-chan from having to endure pain if they lost me." Mira gently clasped Naruto's hands within her hands, as Mira had some tears run down her cheeks. "I can't tell you, show you, or even fathom how much I am thankful to you. Losing either one of my siblings would have crushed me. If there is anything you ever need, please do not hesitate to ask." Naruto chuckled embarrassedly, as he rubbed the back of his head. "Don't mention it. It was the right thing to do when I saw you in trouble. I'm glad you all are okay and alive." Natsu was surprised, as he ran up to Naruto. "Thanks, man. Lisana means so much to me. She's like one of my best friends. So, thanks, man. I appreciate you a lot. If you ever need anything, let me know. Like if you ever need a place to stay. Oh, and the name is Natsu Dragneel. This is my best buddy Happy." Happy flew out from behind Natsu. Gray woke up and let out a chuckle. "Yeah, thanks a bunch. It wouldn't have been the same without the Strauss siblings here. My name is Gray Fullbuster. Nice to meet you. Also, watch out, Flame Brain's house is a complete dump. Not suitable for people to live in unless you're a scaly salamander like him. Oh, stripper. You wanna go?" Natsu glared at Gray with his fists up and ready to fight. "Yeah? I'll take you fire for Brain's ass on." Up wham ouch. The 2 cried out after Makarov retracted his enlarged hand. Makarov smiled and nodded his head, as any parent would say to a person for saving their child's life. "I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Naruto. Thank you. Yeah. Glad to have been of help." Naruto gave them all thumbs up. Just then a girl came running up to Naruto once again. Naruto noticed she was a rather young, petite teenage girl of a slender build, who stands at a rather below average height for her age. Her shoulder-length blue hair, which has eyebrow-length bangs, is normally tied up with a colorful bandana around her head. She also had on an orange dress that went down just past her hips. "My name is Levi Nagardin. I'm sorry to ask you this, but you are the Naruto Uzumaki, right?" Naruto raised an eyebrow and chuckled, nodding his head to confirm her question, meaning, "You're the one almost every guild has been looking for." Naruto nodded his head again. "It's well known, but there was a story about a boy who was around the age of 12 years old that was powerful enough to be considered S-class. I heard there was even a quest that was considered an SS class, or also known as a 10 years quest. It was a quest to kill the King of Sea Kings." Naruto's amused smile dropped. "What? How the heck did word spread around that it was me?" Levi was surprised, so it is true. Tails talked about a blonde boy, with blue eyes, and whisker marks on both sides of his cheeks. That also doesn't exclude a bunch of other feats that were set by you. Maybe you're not as popular around Fiore, but tons of people know of you in Magnolia. I heard a lot from the people about you for helping out. At one point even our job requests, and everything were cancelled. That or the job requests specifically were requesting you. What this kid stopped us from getting our money. I struggled to pay rent that time. There's no way. It can't be true. Bruh, he took our jobs. He took our jobs. Naruto began to chuckle and laugh, as Lucy even looked away, even though she knew about that, and she did her best to hide her laughter. Naruto nodded his head. I might have, but I didn't realize it after a bunch of angry mages from other guilds tried to teach me a lesson, but let's just say that failed. How many were you up against? Mira was surprised that Naruto could take them on his own, even if he was S-class. Maybe 8 or so. 2 of them were at least A-class mages, and 1 S-class, but they were no biggie. Naruto shrugged his shoulders, as everyone stared at him in shock, but you know you do what you have to do. So, are we gonna start this party or not? Wait, Gramps. Are you going to let him keep his rank of S-class? Natsu called out, eager to hear what Makarov wanted to do. Makarov shook his head. Well, if there are enough people to say he was S-class, I don't see the reason not to. Makarov then placed both his hands on his hips, unsure of what to say. Wait, I know. Why don't we have him duke it out with an S-class mage to see if he can do it? Jet called out annoyed. Yeah, for all we know it could be just rumors. Joy added with many other members nodding their heads. Wait, I did my research, I think it's true guys. Plus, even eyewitnesses, and their testimonies are pretty similar, and accurate. Levi tried to defend Naruto, but not a lot of members agreed so easily. Yeah, come on, let's see how he is against Erza. She should be back soon. Wakaba smiled, as he took a puff from his pipe. Yeah. Let's see what the newbie can do. Mikao smirked at the thought of the idea. Makarov sighed, as he shook his head. Alright, Naruto, what do you think? Do you have a problem with it? Naruto rubbed the back of his head, and said, I'm not complaining. If I were to start from square one, I wouldn't care that much. Lucy then argued, wait. Naruto, they don't know what you're capable of. I mean, I've seen firsthand how strong you are. Lucy was annoyed that people began to judge Naruto before they even knew who he was. I know Natsu could destroy an entire pier on his own. However, I've seen Naruto create mile-wide craters, and could cause the water in the lakes and oceans apart. Don't judge him before you've even seen him in action. Lucy said back angrily, causing some of the guild members to notice Lucy defending Naruto. Levi felt hurt and upset, hurt because so many people downplayed Naruto. She knew how strong he was, not only that. He saved her one time when she was being attacked by a group of dark guild mages. Jet and Roy weren't there at the time to protect her, but he did, and saw him in action. Naruto is strong, yet in spite of that, they all judge him too quickly. No one deserves to be judged so critically until everyone has seen his actual strength. Come on, Naruto Nai has to have some merit. Lisana also argued, and Naruto looked at her surprised. Hope you don't mind me calling you that. Lisana added with a smile which made her look cute. Naruto didn't mind it since, besides he was able to protect me, and Mira, and saved Elfman when we went on our S-class mission. I agree, you can't judge Naruto so much, if Naruto is as strong as he is. You heard Levi, there wouldn't be this type of rumors, and stories without evidence. Even our clients have said things about a boy with blonde spiky hair. Besides, if the master thinks he should have the rank of S-class, then it's his say. Not ours. Mira also tried to help defend Naruto. Makarov sighed, as he shook his head. Alright then, I still wish to allow Naruto to keep the class of S-class. However, if people need convincing, then we will let Erza decide if he is deserving of such titles. Naruto could interject, but it is a lesson for a lot of people in the guild. People cannot be judged because of their titles, it's the actions that speak who a person truly is. Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Alright then, if that's what everyone wants, I see no problem with it. With that said, the guild members all busted out with cheers, as Naruto began to see the alcohol begin going around. As the guild went back to their typical activities, Naruto went off to the side by the bar with Lucy, Mira, Lisana, Levi, and Makarov. Naruto looked to the master, and asked, so, when do you think Erza will be back from her mission? Makarov shrugged his shoulders. I'd give her at least another few days at the most. In the meantime, do you have a place to stay? Makarov then looked at Lucy. Oh, that's right, I forgot. Our 2 new members are childhood friends. Do we need to worry about you 2 shacking up in the same apartment? Or making googly eyes at one another when at the guild? Makarov giggled with excitement. As he looked at Lucy, he knew even himself that she was quite the looker. Lucy was surprised, but Mira interjected and said, I'm sure the 2 have their places to stay or at least have an idea. I don't think it's like that, master. Mira glared at Makarov, which made him chuckle a bit more, as he seemingly walked away from the conversation. Lisana sighed. Master can be a bit of a perv, but he is honest to a good master. Lisana went to continue fighting until there was a shout. Oh you're pushing it, Flame Brain. You wanna kick this fight up a notch? Gray shouted, as the ice began to come off of his body. Yeah, let's go, ice stripper. I'll cook your scrawny ass. Asana sighed, as she shook her head. You guys have fun, I need to go remind Natsu and Gray that they're supposed to be friends, and friends get along. Naruto watched, as an almost cold and scary aura appeared around Asana, as she kept that smiling look on her face. Mira giggled, as she turned to Naruto. Asana and Natsu have been close friends since they were little kids. With that said, have you two found a place to stay? Lucy nodded her head. Yeah, my landlord thankfully isn't too bad, but she does worry me. I mean, my rent is almost 70,000 jewels a month. I'm lucky I even had some to spare after I got what I needed. Lucy looked at Naruto with a concerned look on her face. We need to go on mission soon. Naruto waved to Lucy to tell her to chill out. Ma, don't stress so much, Lucy. Naruto shook his head, chuckling. I guess some things about you never change, but I'm glad it didn't. At least it gives me an excuse to always need to be by you. Lucy blushed at the comment, but it did feel nice to hear that Naruto liked being with her. I'm jealous you two are so close. Why don't you two go out on a mission tomorrow? I'm sure you two have a couple of days before Izo comes back. Mira looked over to the board. There are some easy ones or harder quests below S rank that pay relatively well. Mira pointed to a specific quest. There's one that talks about eliminating a low-ranking monster terrorizing a city. I think it was called a displacement beast or something. But I think it's right up both of your alleys. I'm game. What about you, Lucy? Yeah, we can do that. I want to show you what I can do. Lucy added some pep and energy to her voice. Naruto turned to Levi. Out of curiosity, Levi, are you a typical combat type mage? Levi shakes her head. No, I can fight when I need to. I'm better at the brains and stuff and strategies. That or I can do support. I use solid script magic. Cool, I can do that too. Naruto lifted his hand in the air. He took an empty cup. Solid script. Water. When Naruto wrote the words, Levi watched in amazement as she saw Naruto use different lettering. The water soon fell into the cup, filling it to the top. Naruto used the original characters he knew back from his homeland. Levi looked at Naruto in surprise. Whoa. I've seen that language before. It's an old language that another country uses. I think it's from the Alvarez Empire if I remember correctly. Are you from there? Levi looked interested in Naruto. Now Naruto didn't want to lie, but he almost had no choice but to lie. Lucy doesn't even know the full story about himself. Only Layla knows, and Jarvis knows to an extent. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. Truly, I don't know. All I know is my parents died the night I was born. So, I don't remember much. Mira, Lucy, and Levi all frowned. Oh, I'm so sorry, I had no idea. I got so. Levi went to apologize, but Naruto chuckled, placing a finger on her lip. You had no idea, you can't blame yourself for that. If you want, I can teach you the language if you wish to learn it. Naruto smiled, showing her he forgave her even if she didn't mean it. Well, I'm glad you at least told us. We're glad to get to know you better, Naruto. You're going to be the talk of the guild for a while. Mira added, trying to keep the mood up. I know I'd like to get to know my blonde savior if I get some free time. Yeah, sounds like fun. I'd love to. Levi cheered, as she looked toward Naruto with a slight blush on her cheeks. I'd like to get to know more about him too. He has a mysterious vibe to him, not to mention the smile on his face. He also isn't too bad to look at either. Lucy smiled, as she took a sip of some water that Mira placed on the table. However, her thoughts were a little different. I didn't think that Naruto would be such a hero and a big shot. Just what has he been doing? How much is he hiding? I feel like he knows a lot more than he leads. I want to ask, but I'm worried I'd pry too much, and it could ruin our relationship. I care greatly for him. I wish I could tell him how I felt about him. Lucy kept these thoughts to herself, hoping that one day she'll get some answers. Maybe I just need to take this chance to get to know my blonde-headed childhood friend. Later that night, Naruto was finishing up hanging out with everyone, getting to know Gray, Natsu, Happy, Lisana, Elfman, Mirajane, and even some of the other members of the guild. Though, it was funny to watch Loki try hitting on Lucy. Though, it did make Naruto feel like wanting to hit Loki for trying to hit on her. Soon enough though, Lucy told him off by delivering a swift kick in the side. Lucy went ahead and left to head back to her apartment and told Naruto to meet her here tomorrow for a mission. Naruto finished up his conversations with Mira and Levi and was introduced to Fairy Tail's main alcoholic Hana Alberona. Naruto got up from the bar. Well, it's been fun partying, but I'm going to turn in if you guys don't mind. Naruto waved to everyone as the three girls waved to him. However, on his way out, Makarov gestured the new member over to him. Naruto came over, and Makarov asked, Naruto my boy, can we talk in my office? Naruto nodded his head, complying with him, and followed him into his office. When they got in, Makarov took a seat and gestured for Naruto to do the same. Naruto complied and sat down. So, what is it, master? Naruto looked at the older man, confused. Makarov studied Naruto ever since he joined the guild. There were plenty of things that stuck out to him. My dear boy, before I begin, may I ask you, is there anything you'd like to tell me? Of course, anything you say or do will stay strictly between you and me. I promise you that. Naruto looked at the man, confused. I'm confused, master, what do you mean? Makarov sighed as she closed his eyes and then slowly opened them. Well, I've been watching you interact with the others in the guild. I must say, you fit in quite well, and you're mysterious, but there is a lot more to you. Makarov's eyes looked serious. I have never seen a boy your age with their guard up. With every movement you made, there were almost no openings to catch you off guard if someone attacked you. You look battle-hardened, professionally trained, not only those eyes. I've seen those types of eyes before, my dear boy, someone who has witnessed calamities and events that no normal person should see. War, my boy, I'm asking if you have seen war. Naruto was floored by what Makarov said to him. He couldn't believe that he could so easily deduce Naruto by his actions, including just by looking at his eyes. I must say he is very experienced, he is very wise and perceptive. I can't believe he could even tell that from you. Kurama was very impressed by Makarov's deducing skills. Wait, how can you even tell? Naruto looked at Makarov, surprised by his words. Makarov closed his eyes and sighed. I've seen and dealt with a lot of things, my dear Naruto. Things I wish I could unsee and ununderstand as well. I can see not only that, but the amount of determination and much more comes off of you. It's like I'm staring at a raging fire that is powerful when lit. Burns who it wants to burn and can leave the things that it loves unharmed. So my boy, do you wish to discuss this with me? Fairy Tail is home to mages who have no place to call home, people to call family, and a place where they feel they belong. Live, love, laugh, work, and most of all have fun. Naruto looked at Makarov with a very impressed look on his face, and Naruto simply smiled. This is truly why Makarov Dreyer was the leader of this guild. Why he oversaw everyone. He was a parent, a leader, who could deduce anything, and know when someone he cares about is hurting. Naruto shook his head. If he was going to tell everyone everything, he figured it might as well be Makarov. Well, why don't we start here then? Naruto held his right hand up. Tell me, master, have you ever heard of what chakra is? Makarov raised an eyebrow, showing he had no clue what Naruto was talking about. Get comfortable, because there is a lot that has happened to me these past few hundred centuries. Naruto held his right hand up as a Rasengan formed in his hand. Makarov's eyes whitened as he felt the power come from Naruto's attack. He could not sense chakra, but he could feel the ferocity of the said attack. I see from that example alone, I can now see you are no normal mage, Naruto. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.